autism is usually not diagnosed in Black women until like way, way, way later in their lives because of racism.
No, I mean, again, that's why I'm not trying to speak to against anything. I will say, convenient. That's all. That's all I said. That's all I
don't
said.
like that.
That's all I said.
I feel like you could have kept that to yourself altogether.
I just said. That's all.
Even
I said.
though you said that one word, I feel like that was very. I don't like that.
That was anti-Black. That was misogynoir.
Yeah, it was misogynoir.
Noir. Justin LeBoy should be looked into with the Diddy situation because he was with the kid. He was with the kids. He was with Justin and them.
He was signed.
That
to
was his man
Revolt
in
and
them.
all that. Yeah.
So what do you know, Justin? You conveniently got up out of there. It seems like. Hey,
Not
man.
Justin LeBoy toy.
And we just seen King Combs had some allegations now been put on him.
Yeah.
So what did you know, Justin LeBoy? I seen the alleged pictures from, I guess, when they was all out of town. I seen the girls that you was with. Release the video, Megan. Show him that he was cool with everything. You don't got to show the whole thing, just the first 5-6 minutes.
Not 5-6 minutes. This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
Man, I hate when, like, as a podcaster, when you have a week of something that happens that you would be good to talk about, but then you just can't because of the people involved. Like, it just be like a perfect story. It's perfect scenarios that you could just.
What can't we talk about?
You know what we can't talk about, but it would just be like a perfect scenario, perfect story, and you can have even good little message at the end, you know, and it's just like you just can't do it because you got to protect like the people closest to you. Like that's kind of like rule number one.
Because you were just making up a imaginary scenario earlier where I'm the one that's doing this and you're the one that's actually doing it in real life.
No, I don't think you're thinking about the scenario I'm talking about. There's multiple things that's happened this week. Okay. So I mean, it doesn't even involve us. What I'm talking about.
I assumed it hasn't.
So it's just funny, man. It just sucks. like I be wanting to give it to the people, but then I gotta be like, we gotta protect all the innocent. But we got a good show for y'all today.
Are you tired of paying a lot of money for your vacation? My name is Shirley Proctor, and I am a partner with Tavodian, a traveling membership group. I can help you save time, money, help you and your loved ones see the world.
All right, I think we back. I think we got the energy.
Definitely.
I think we ready. So you just talk FNF TV. I'm Rhetoric, and I'm with my lovely and amazing and gorgeous co-host, Miss Reality. All right, we got to get into this, man. This Chris Brown and Quavo beef. I think that's a good place to start this at.
Yeah.
Because Quavo came with the energy. He responded.
Did we talk about Chris Brown last week already?
I don't think we have discussed this. I've been trying to collect more information about this just so we can have a more in-depth conversation because Chris Brown has had a long history with the Migos, not just Quavo.
Okay, I didn't know that. So let's start with where the beef started since you did your science.
So, I mean, this one particular has been going on for a minute. Quavo and Chris have been like, Chris has had like multiple times. There's a basketball tournament, celebrity basketball tournament, where he's called out Quavo, like, get your bitch ass out here type of shit.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what it seems like this beef is coming from is the fact that they were switching it up. You know, they were sleeping with each other's women. Quavo was most recently seen with Karrueche, and then Chris Brown was, I think it was like courtside somewhere with Sweetie.
Yeah.
And basically since then, and then you also had that moment that they both mentioned at the fashion show where they were sitting next to each other and it looked like it was real tense.
Yeah, it did not look good at all.
Basically since that fashion show moment, it's been up because Chris responded on IG. He was talking trash about Quavo before he dropped the song. So, I mean, it's been pretty well known that these guys have been, you know, the biggest fans of each other. Like I said, the beef with the Migos go back to an issue that Chris had with Offset. Because I believe it was something that was going on. Chris spoke about something that Offset didn't appreciate. He then, threatens to, have a fight and all that other stuff. Chris posts all the messages, like all the DMs and everything. Offset calls him a police. So, like I said, these guys have had tension. So this doesn't surprise me where it started from. But what did you have from your research?
I just looked at the lyrics for both the songs.
Oh, you want to do a little lyrical breakdown real quick? We can.
Yeah, because Chris Brown's song, I think it was hilarious that he started with the voicemail or the voice note that Quavo sent him, basically copping a plea. Quavo was in the DM copping pleas. So he said, we can settle this like you got some class. So we can get into this gangster shit. Hey, Chris, I don't want no issues, bruh. I don't want no smoke. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to do nothing, bruh. Like, please, bruh.
I don't think that was Quavo. That doesn't sound like Quavo go out like that. Now, I ain't going to put that on my boy. I ain't going to put that on Gwinnett.
But we believe it, so it don't matter. Because now Quavo look like he copping pleas in the DM. So that's fucking interesting. I underlined just a couple like salacious lyrics in Chris's diss track. So he was talking about Sweetie and how he messed with Sweetie while Quavo was with him, and he said, "I had her feeling about that dick, got some tea about that bitch, but I ain't gonna speak about that shit. Can you please? I would like you to. I would like to hear it. I would like to see it." So, yeah, I want the tea.
So, I mean, we seen what it most likely was. He said he was hitting Sweetie while Quavo and it was together. So
yeah, but he said that Sweetie was like pillow talking, spilling tea in bed about Quavo to Chris.
Oh, that's
and he said
work.
He's not going to bring that up.
That's nasty
but
work.
He was like, but that's in the arsenal, nigga. Like, if you want to do it, we could do it.
Okay.
So, and then a little bit further down, he says, stop talking about beating girls. You was beating bitches on the elevator. Not the woman beater pot, calling the woman beater kettle a woman beater.
I mean, it's saying this is the competition now. They're trying to see who's the worst of them.
Like, no, we're going to keep talking about both of y'all.
I think he's saying, like, at least, hey, I wasn't caught on tape. You was caught on tape doing it. So you kind of take a bigger L in the situation.
Does he though?
On tape is always worse. Reason that
I just feel like
Ray
Quavo didn't take as much of a L for that as Chris Brown did for Rihanna. Like, Chris Brown lost so much more when he put his hands on Rihanna.
Well,
than
that's because the aftermath.
Quavo did when.
That's because the aftermath. Like, one of them had, like, the police had to come. Like, the other one didn't. So
like, Rihanna got fucked up. Also, you fucked Rihanna up. Let's not. Like, you beat the shit out of her. Quavo, like, shook her up grabbed the bag, like, and pushed her and shit. Like, there was no marks on her.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like he got super violent with her. It was just more like he got aggressive.
Yeah, he got way too aggressive with her. You whooped that woman's ass.
And then we got to also remember with Chris, like, it didn't stop with Rihanna.
No.
Like, it wasn't like Rihanna was
there's
the
a
only
picture,
woman.
There's a picture of Chris Brown choking him.
Well, that was staged. That was just, they cut it at a certain point that made it look like he was choking her out.
It looked like he was choking that bitch out.
I mean, that's what a stage should look like. But that particular photo wasn't that. We ain't gonna put untruthful things, but we can put the Carucci restraining order on him. We got some more of the lyrics to go break down. We want to go to Quavo's part now.
No, there's just like a couple more lines. So he said the thing about Fashion Week that he was gonna break his face, but he gave you a pass because he wanted to keep his bag. Like, you was not about to whoop
y'all
that
definitely
man's
could have
ass.
caught the fade after that. Like, you really wanted it.
There's multiple times where y'all probably could have caught the fade, so I don't believe that, but okay. And then he said, quit talking about drugs. You the only pack I've been smoking on. No, I'm going to keep talking about the fact that you're a crackhead, Chris. Like, it's a very easy shot to take. And then that was it. Nothing else really stood out to me in the song. And then we can move on to Quavo's song. I only have his verse.
I mean, that's all you really need, because the main thing that was going on was, I thought was pretty interesting, was they came up in your house and tied up Yancey. because they didn't pay. So there is, if you look up,
What is that about?
there is a TMZ story where Chris Brown house got raided, and they did tie up like family members, and they went into a safe. Apparently, this is what academics were saying. They knew like where the safe was. They got into it very fast. Like I guess like they to the point they had the code they could have, and it just was in and out. So they said it may have been an inside job. Like some people were thinking about that.
That seems like it.
And so that's what he was referring to, that he was getting extorted by the Bloods, because he Paru. He will tell us that.
That's what he started out his song, I'm Dripped in Red.
Yeah, so he tried to tell you. I mean, but I thought that was kind of an interesting little tidbit, because Chris kind of responded after the song came out and was like, oh, that's all just Google stories right there. You just Google Chris Brown. I'm like, bro, that still isn't good. There's tons of like incidents and fights and stuff like he's had especially at his house. So I mean,
that's not safe at all.
It's just insane if you really just look at his track record, because people, like I said, they always try to focus on Rihanna, but you can take the Rihanna situation out and he still had the checkered past.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure I can find the article of a history of Chris Brown's violent past, but that's not what this is about.
So what I want to know is what do you think? Because this is what kind of came to me when he used Takeoff's voice for the hook of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, because there was some tension between him and Offset, after the passing of Takeoff? Do you think that Offset cares, or do you think that's something that would be brought up, or would you, even if that was you in your situation, would you feel a certain kind of way that you brought our deceased relative into his beat by using his music for this diss?
I'm sure they talked about it. Like, there's no way that they wouldn't have. And I'm just assuming that they talked about it before, and he was like, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Because it seems like this was already recorded as a diss for Chris Brown. Like,
oh, no. He just had the hook. All it was the beat and the hook, and they just added that in there.
Yeah, but was that not about?
No, he was just rapping.
Okay.
You'll go in there sometimes in the studio, and you'll just lay some stuff down. And then if it sound hard, you're like, oh, no, we're going to put some stuff on this later. And then it just came in. This is the situation where it worked at.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like I said, I could see where there's a world where Offset could be upset about that. But because it's Chris Brown, they both have had a situation that involved Chris Brown. I can see where it's like, nah, the green light is good. You got to shoot at that nigga. Because he had to respond. He had to do something.
They probably been beefing with this nigga for a while, so they had to. I'm surprised. If that was the case, why didn't Offset? Why didn't, rest in peace, Takeoff? You can't do anything. Why didn't Offset too soon?
You just keep going. I wasn't saying nothing.
Why didn't Offset jump on it then? Like, he should have hopped on it if he wanted to shoot at that nigga. It would have been better.
I don't think he would have had to bring out the whole Migos for that, because like I said, theirs was like a few years ago. They little tit. So, I mean, and we don't know how cool him and Quavo are. So, it could be a lot of reasons why. And Offset and Quavo could just be like, no, I want to go me at this nigga. It's just me and him. He ain't nobody to me,
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's going to be tough, because I will say, after re-listening to it, I see why people like Chris Brown's more. I like the aggressiveness of Quavo's, and I like how he was just shooting at him. But Chris Brown's was better.
I think Chris Brown's has more replay value, but also, I personally don't think replay value factors into the value of a diss track.
No, it definitely does now. In the way that we
now
set
it
up
does.
This, like, if your shit can be spent in the club and it's a diss track, that's a win.
I was at brunch the other day and they played like that.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you can play that at an event and people will go up for it, it's just kind of now, that's kind of a prerequisite now if you want to get a real good diss. If you want to win.
I agree with you. It is definitely a prerequisite. I don't think it should be. I think it's just like bars and like zingers, nigga. Like, come at this nigga. Like, who murdered who the most?
I mean, at this point now,
to me, that's the most important thing. But also, the replay value does add a nice little.
We talked about it though.
cherry
Pusha
on
T created a new level of what you do in a diss. It's no longer is it good enough to just out quote unquote rap your opponent. You have to reveal things and bring up like checkered moments, unflattering moments about your opponent.
Yeah.
And expose them. That's the only way you could do it. Like, there's no other way that we're gonna find it as the consumer acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said it went there for both of them. This nigga, we didn't play the part in our audio version, but Nigga said we wished it was you instead of Takeoff.
Yeah, fucking Quavo said, you want to die about some coochie? What? Nobody needs to die. Nobody needs to threaten.
That's just rapper shit.
Yeah, but like that's a little too much. He started off the verse with "Little boy want to die about some coochie."
Yeah.
What?
Still,
Okay.
He's still fucked up about Karuchi.
Yeah, he said you tried to beat up Tiana. Usher told you no. They said in the song that Frank Ocean whooped your ass, which that's one of my favorite, like, that was one of my favorite stories to find out that Frank Ocean whooped Chris Brown's ass. I was like,
well, I hate to break that one down to you. They said that the video that they have that's supposed to be Frank Ocean and Chris Brown fighting, that's Frank Ocean and like a bodyguard or somebody. That isn't Chris Brown. There is a video of Chris Brown. I remember when this happened, when this came out. Chris Brown was taunting Frank Ocean, where he was like following him down like some LA street or whatever. Like I remember when that happened. That was really crazy. Cause niggas was like, why are you bothering little Frank?
I feel like I remember somebody telling a story about Frank Ocean, like a third party telling a story about Frank Ocean like whooping Chris Brown's ass.
I'm pretty sure somebody may have said that, and that rumor has been around. I'm just saying from what we saw, and there's a video that people try to say is Frank beating up Chris, but that's not Chris.
But it's Chris's like entourage.
No, it's just a bodyguard person. It's not necessarily has anything to do with Chris. But there was a day. I just want to make sure there was a day where Chris Brown was pretty much taunting. This is like early Twitter too, like early internet, 2010 type shit. Like where
Chris
he was
Brown
taunting.
has been a menace for a very long time.
Yeah, this is like after the Rihanna shit, but he's like taunting Frank Ocean and trying to act like he run LA and all that. So I mean, Chris Brown, like it was funny on my old show. We had like a whole thing where we went down a whole list of all the like the crazy lame shit Chris Brown did, and the list was so long. I tried to defend him at first to the point where it was undefendable. Like it was
He's
nothing.
done so much stuff.
It was just kept, and it was like other shit, like stuff he had done with other niggas and all that other stuff. Like it was just stuff I couldn't defend anymore. So I mean,
anybody who tries to defend Chris Brown just doesn't know Chris Brown's history of violence,
or they just try to act like it's not that big of a deal. It's not even just the violence. Though. Like we was finding stuff out. We was just reading through his name on the internet, like finding all sorts of this little goofy shit he had, interactions he had with other niggas and stuff. So again, I think he's probably going to come out because he is the better musician out of the two. I think that's probably going to be self-evident in the way that the music's going to be, everyone's going to react to the music. So I think Chris is up right now. So I'm going to go with Chris right now.
I found an article really quick with a timeline. 2009, he assaults Rihanna. 2010, he's denied a visa to the UK. 2011, he allegedly has a meltdown backstage, and that's the interview with Robin Roberts at Good Morning America. I vividly remember that because she was going through chemo.
That's what I was thinking. Wasn't that time when she was fighting cancer?
Yes. And this was the time where I was in high school, and I, for some reason, was watching Good Morning America every morning and Oprah every afternoon. So Robin Roberts in the morning, Oprah in the afternoon. So, yeah, I vividly remember that. 2012, he's involved in a brawl in a nightclub in New York involving Drake and NBA star Tony Parker and various members of the trio's entourage.
So a quick point about that night. That night could have cost Drake and Chris Brown everything because Tony Parker got cut up and messed up, and he's a basketball player. Mm-hmm. He used to play for the San Antonio Spurs.
He used to be married to Eva Longoria.
Yeah, the housewife, right?
I remember that. I only remember when I only remember sports niggas when they were married to bad bitches.
Do you know why they got divorced? The story? Allegedly, he was sleeping with one of his teammates' wives.
Oh.
And the person I heard it was, again, this is all alleged. I don't know if it's true. It was Brent Barry. It doesn't matter to you, but the guys that may listen will know who that is. Okay. But that's what they said who it was Brent Barry. That's crazy. But so, I wanted to say they could have lost everything that night because if he would have lost like his eye or he couldn't see anymore, he would have been able to sue them for like the max contract for like the next 5 or 6 because he ended up playing till like 2000. I want to say
he was playing
18.
for a while.
Yeah, I think he like it was either 17, 18. He retired, so he would have been able to get them for some money. That would have ruined Drake and Chris Brown forever.
So that resulted in Chris Brown making a diss record about Drake, and it was to the remix of it was to I Don't Like Chief Keef. So that was a thing. So in 2012, I don't know why they put this. He tests positive for marijuana.
He was on probation. That's why.
So yeah, he's on probation. So he violates his probation. In November of 2012, he violates his restraining order against Rihanna by going to the Billboard Awards. Yeah, a Billboard Award party. In January 2013, he's rumored to clash with Frank Ocean. One of Chris Brown's entourage reportedly used a homophobic slur against Frank Ocean, and Brown allegedly punched Ocean and threatened to shoot him.
Sounds on brand.
Yeah. So in 2013, his probation is revoked. I didn't know that was a thing. But then, again in 2013, he's arrested for felony assault. So he was arrested in Washington, D.C. when him and his bodyguard were involved in a physical altercation with two men outside of a hotel. And according to CNN, the charges against him and his bodyguard were reduced to simple assault misdemeanors, and the two were released without bail. So it didn't end up being a huge deal for him. He goes to rehab. A lot happens in 2013. This is all in 2013. He goes to rehab. 2014, he's diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
That's why Quavo said that shit.
And post-traumatic stress disorder. So he's actually bipolar. I didn't know he was actually bipolar. In March, so he goes to the facility in October. He's kicked out in March.
I'm just gonna say, bipolar and having an alleged coke habit does not mix well. That's not a good concoction together. Yeah, you don't want to have that. But let's finish up. So we got to get your girl now.
Oh, so. Yeah. Oh, as a result of him being kicked out, he goes to jail. Then he pleads guilty to assault. Probation revoked again. He's banned from Canada. The whole country of Canada just bans him. He hits a man in Vegas, detained in the Philippines, cancels his tour. Then he's investigated by police, sued by his ex-manager. Again, arrested on suspicion of assault. So this is like the fourth arrest.
This nigga can't keep his hands to
for assault that we're counting now. Now he punches his photographer, and then he's ordered to stay away from Karrueche. She has a restraining order. And then he's sued for sexual assault by an unidentified woman. And then he's pressed with possession of a restricted species. I don't know. But the list goes on, okay? And now, most recently, he's sued by a woman who's claiming that he essayed and drugged her in Miami.
When that come up? Because I know he had one event that happened at his house where girls said that, but they said they ended up.
Oh, yeah. This is the last thing was in 2022. So that was a while ago. That was probably what we're talking about.
Yeah, like I said, it was
the
one
Jane Doe. It was a $20 million lawsuit.
Okay. I just know one recanted her statement, but it happened allegedly at his house. So, like I said.
Yeah, they dismissed the case in 2022 in August.
So, I mean, like I said, it's a long history with Buddy. He has a lot of material for Quavo to go at. I hope that there's some more music that comes out of this. I do want to see that.
I would like the tea that all of the cheating women were giving the opposing parties to come out. I would. I wanted to get a little messier.
You remember when the Migos jumped XXXTentacion?
They jumped him? Like physical violence?
There's a video of that too.
Ah, that's funny.
There's a video of that where I guess he was having some beef with him, and then they end up finding that nigga and they had an altercation. He walked away though.
They was just hoodlums.
No, they was, especially early Migos. Early Migos was wild. Yeah. They was really about, niggas thought they was really about that. Because that was around the time Chief Keef and them, like, niggas really had to really toughen up around that time. Like, you couldn't be just talking. You had to push niggas. You had to get physical. But we got to get into your girl. So this story came out the other day. Megan Thee Stallion, lawsuit being filed from her former photographer, Emilio.
Yes. So Emilio filed a lawsuit, and in the lawsuit it says, this is the most salacious part of the lawsuit, that while they're they're out of the country. I think they were in Greece.
I thought it was either they was in the islands. I remember.
Yeah, somewhere. They're out of the country, and he's in the car with Meg and some other women, and Meg starts Meg is having sex right next to him in the car, and he said he freezes up And
I can understand that.
after they're done, she's like, don't speak of this to anybody. And after that, like, she starts mistreating him, body shaming him,
Called him a fat bitch.
Yeah, calling him a fat bitch and things of that sort. So
I believe all victims first. And that's what we have to start with, right? Believe
Yes.
all victims.
Believe all victims. I looked into the lawsuit. He didn't file a sexual assault like lawsuit. The lawsuit is for like unpaid wages.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to show that this is an environment that is not safe and protected, and that somebody who would fornicate in front of me would also not pay me my money right. I completely understand this logic.
Yeah. So, he files this lawsuit for his unpaid wages because like she was having him work without being paid. She wasn't paying him overtime. He didn't have like health insurance and things of that nature because he was a freelance
She was trying to play my boy. I don't like that. She was trying to play my boy.
And then she had him on retainer so he couldn't work anywhere else, but then she wasn't giving him gigs. And then eventually, after this situation that happened, she slowly started like giving him less and less work until her team reached out and told him that she would no longer be needing his services.
So she played my boy, and then she didn't pay him right. I understand where Emilio come from. Y'all trying to say it's a cash grab, and y'all trying to say Emilio trying to, he working for Nicki Minaj. I'm hearing these allegations and rumors. Emilio just was hurt, and Emilio just wanted his paper.
Yeah.
Is Emilio gay?
I don't know. I can't tell by looking at him.
Your gaydar doesn't go off a little bit? Because, I don't know. I'm not speaking for the man's sexuality. I can understand being uncomfortable with two women having sex in front of you. I can understand that maybe in a world.
Not your world.
If I can't join, I'm uncomfortable. I'm sitting there looking like, whoa, what? I can't. Oh, well, I'm uncomfortable now. I don't feel safe.
You're mad annoying. I'm trying to find.
How's that mad annoying? That is accurate. Why is your girl being Lizzo? Why is Meg Thee Stallion trying to be Lizzo? Out here doing all this crazy freak girl shit. When are we gonna hold black women accountable?
He's gay.
You can't. Why are you just putting him on like that?
He's gay. Look at this picture.
Let me see. Just because he's smiling, he gay? That's crazy. Because he show teeth? Showing teeth is gay now?
No, it's the bandana, the head tilt, his fingers are through two of his belt loops in the front. And
that was a look though.
Yeah, no.
That was a style. So Megan has said that these allegations were false, right? She did her lawyer put out a statement. I think they said that all these allegations and stories were false.
Yeah, she said that her lawyer came out and said that they were baseless.
They were all baseless allegations.
Yeah.
I find this very interesting that this happens right after Megan wins an award from Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, so she was awarded the Catalyst of Change Award.
So right after that, and then also, like I said, there's been talk that this man has been in cahoots with Nicki Minaj.
And other people were honored at that award ceremony too.
Yeah, I know. I just thought it was interesting that she got that. They made a note to say that she got that award, and then she ends up getting into this little situation here.
Because she got the award because of like her image with like body autonomy and things of that nature.
And apparently she's calling people fat bitches though. What do you have to say?
She doesn't think you have autonomy to be a fat bitch.
Speak for all black women. What do you say here? Like, what is going on here? This woman has been for the last 2 or 3 years the face of I've been a victim, and now she's out here victimizing a marginalized group if this man is gay.
When it comes to black women, I'm always gonna be biased, and I'm always gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm waiting for more information to come out before I just start spewing my nonsense opinions.
That is crazy that you would even do that, because you wouldn't hold that grace to no other.
No, I wouldn't. Only for black women.
That's craziness. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sitting here, and Megan, you're gonna have
nobody else does it for us, so I'm gonna do it for us extra.
Megan, you're gonna have to show me a video of this night and what happened exactly in detail, so that I can believe that you didn't do anything wrong.
You motherfucker.
Because I need to see what happened.
You're the creep.
I need to know if this is true. I need to see if this man was uncomfortable. I need evidence.
But apparently he was right next to them, like in the same row.
I mean, I seen the alleged pictures from, I guess, when they was all out of town. I seen the girls that you was with. See, release the video, Megan. Show him that he was cool with everything. You don't got to show the whole thing, just the first 5-6 minutes.
Not 5-6 minutes.
Just so we can get the vibe and know everybody's comfortable. You know, you can anything in a minute. You
just
can,
enough content.
Yeah, we need to make sure this is enough information to be able to be thorough here. If not, we got to go with the victims. You told us we had to believe victims when it was you. Did she not?
She did.
So, Megan, like, talk to me. Wake it up.
Meg, I really don't want to believe this. Ma'am. Like, get your shit together.
You called him a fat bitch. That's hurtful. That's awful. We don't like to body shame or talk about people the way they look here, but
that is a lie. We be body shaming and talking about how people look like a motherfucker.
But that's messed up. That's wrong. You're better. You got all these girls thinking that they working out trying to get the Megan body, and you over here just shaming other women and other men. Because if she's saying it to a gay man, she's saying it to other women too.
Maybe not, but who knows?
I seen the clip when she tried to offer herself up to Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj wasn't having it.
What do you mean?
They was together and she was like, if it happened, it happened. And Nicki was like, Nicki was scared. You just see the trend and the pattern.
The girls just be doing the little flirty back and forth thing.
Nicki wasn't with it though.
Yeah, but she did that same shit with like Young Miami and a bunch of other people, but I didn't know that she was serious. Apparently, Megan really do be eating box for
Allegedly.
real.
She be scissoring it up.
That's crazy. Well, that's not crazy at all.
So you think she gonna make a song about this? Called like backseat bumping? That'd be tough. That'd be tough. Backseat bumping? How could you not get that off?
That literally sounds like a 90s jam.
Backseat bumping?
Yes. Like, why would she call it the backseat bumping?
I think that sound lit.
That sound like some uncle ass shit.
That sound hard. And then she got could have like an Uncle Luke beat to it. You know what I'm saying?
The girls need to get on some Uncle Luke beats too.
I'm just saying. Bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So did you order your Yeezy yet? Did you go on the website?
I'm not ordering no goddamn Yeezy.
It's only $20.
I'm not supporting anything Kanye West does still.
I mean, to me, I feel like the whole $20 thing is kind of cool because he always said he wanted his materials and his clothes at a reasonable price point.
Yeah.
Now, I've been seeing some of y'all do them, to open up the bags and stuff and then wearing the Yeezy. It don't look like it's your size for a lot of y'all. Casanat, he didn't get his right sizes. That started some little tension and beef. So I'm just saying, I didn't see a lot of guys that was unsatisfied with what's coming out of the Yeezy house. But apparently now, if you buy something on Yeezy, you get access to the interview he just did with Justin LeBoy.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Kanye for letting Justin LeBoy out of his cave. I think that needs to be acknowledged.
I think don't, and I think you need to put him back where the fuck he was.
We've been missing Justin LeBoy for years.
No,
I don't even think he's been reposting memes. Like, my boy's been shut in. Like, Kanye put him up, said, hey, I'll let you out when I need you. And we have not seen him since.
We don't need to see him.
Justin LeBoy should be looked into with the Diddy situation because he was with the kid. He was with the kids. He was with Justin and them.
He was signed.
That was his man in
and
them.
all that. Yeah.
So what do you know, Justin? You conveniently got up out of there. It seems like. Hey,
not
man.
Justin LeBoy toy.
And we just seen King Combs had some allegations now been put on him.
Yeah.
So what did you know, Justin LeBoy? I'm just saying we got to bring it out here, but
the Diddy camp is just not looking good. But yeah,
Kanye said some interesting things in this, in the snippets that I seen. I have not yet consumed the whole interview. I don't even know if it's out yet.
No, I don't think it's out because we would have watched it.
But when I mean out, where it's like even if you buy the stuff on Yeezy, could you still watch it right now? I don't think that it's not even at that point yet.
I don't know.
Like you'll get access to it when it released, but right now he's just been dropping little clips and whatnot. He went at Drake, man. He disrespected my boy.
That was hilarious.
First, it starts off, he jumps on the like that, but I don't think he really was with them. I think he just added his own little spin on it.
Yeah.
Not a fan of it. Maybe we should try that again. Maybe. But He then goes and says Drake has a rich baby daddy, and it was Lucian.
Yeah, like he's like a exec at
Was it Universal?
Universal, yeah, Universal Music Group.
And he says that he when Drake wants anything he needs, Lucian buys it up for him, and it ain't no problem. So that's why he said Drake is hard to beat, and that's why they got to team up to beat him, because he has Lucian having his back.
He has a powerful, rich, white baby daddy.
I just think this nigga Kanye, I feel like he just hit this beat in the wrong way. First, he just interjects himself in it, and I just don't think it came with the
That's
heat
a
that
very
it
Kanye way to fucking insert yourself in some shit, though.
But Kanye knows this ain't his lane to be going back and forth this way.
Kanye is never in the lane that Kanye needs to be in. Kanye is not worried about lanes.
That's not true. That's not true at all. He is way more tactical than this. Right now, this is a nigga that looks so desperate. He looks desperate for any kind of attention when it doesn't seem like he needs to. He did the Kanye, he did the Yeezy Super Bowl commercial, and that joint almost double what he paid for.
Yeah.
So it just...
I do think, though, that out of all of the rappers, Kanye is the nigga that, first of all, has a purpose to have this much vitriol behind Drake, because the whole like Kim Kardashian stuff, like Drake was messing with the mother of your children before, maybe during, allegedly, we don't know. And then I think Kanye is the most unhinged person, the most perfectly unhinged rapper to come at Drake the way that he needs to be came at after Pusha T.
But I think it was interesting too, because we talked about, in the last episode, what Kendrick would have to do to go at Drake. I feel like Kanye
would do.
I also feel like the thing about Kanye, and that I think a lot of people don't acknowledge, like, for him to be as long in the industry as long as he's been in it, he does not have the allegations that a lot of his peers have.
No.
Like, I can't think of too many situations or instances where it's been a woman come out and said Kanye did X, Y, and Z outside of like reporters and paparazzi people.
Yeah.
Like anything where it comes to, and for him to be the sexual deviant he claims to be, that's a feat. You have to kind of put that into consideration.
The only thing that you could say is recently with his wife, people have been like, that's weird.
That's
but
a consenting adult, though.
Yeah, there's nothing, like, she hasn't come out and said anything, so and she seems like she's fucking happy there. So.
And even with Kim, the stuff that she was upset about had nothing to do with that. It was more just they had been growing distant. He was on some other shit.
Yeah, he was
trumping it up and all that other stuff. So I mean,
he was just a lot to deal with.
So I mean, I can just see where it's like he could be that person who has that background where it's like, oh nah, like I can go at you. It's no problem. I'm gonna read the blind items on you. I think Kanye is crazy enough to do that.
Get on Lipstick Alley, something.
That's your new little blog site, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I would think that I've known about Lipstick Alley for years. I'm surprised that you just coming up on that.
I'm surprised too.
Like that's like
I knew about the blind items before I knew about Lipstick Alley.
That's what I'm saying. Like Lipstick Alley was right up your alley. I didn't mean to do it like that, but no pun intended. But that was literally, I would have thought you would have been hipped on that.
Nah.
That's craziness.
I'm glad I wasn't. My brain would have been mush.
Was there any other clips with what Kanye said, or was there anything else we wanted to get to with Kanye?
The main thing was the Lucian thing.
Yeah. I just think that the stuff that y'all's rappers keep trying to go at Drake is nobody who's a consumer cares about that kind of stuff. This whole, he's a plant in the industry. Like, nobody gives a fuck. The shit slaps. And y'all not going to make nothing that slap harder. Pause, if necessary. You heard about Coyle Ray leaving Republic?
Yeah, I heard about that. She's with, like, Island Music Group now.
Okay. I mean, I've always said her team was horrible. So, have I not? I've said that on this podcast.
Yeah.
I've said her team was horrible. She needed to change who she's with. So, I think that's a good start. To be doing that right there, leaving Republic, because they haven't done like that. I guess she was saying that they wanted her to do more poppy records, and she wasn't a fan of that.
Just creative differences.
Yeah, I just think you just didn't want to work the way they wanted you to work, and you just gotta hope whatever you do that it work for you, because it's not. that pop shit, to me, when I hear artists say that, that just means they don't want to put in the grind to actually make hits that the record labels know will work.
Yeah,
but then again,
she had to pay for her own EP.
Yeah,
the last EP that she put out. So they refused to pay for advertising, and she had to pay for it herself.
So okay, I can understand why she would want to leave with that. But I just if you're not doing what they want, I can understand too. Hey, I'm not going to give you money to advertise something that we don't believe in.
Yeah, they wanted her to go to the and that's what she said, the Taylor Swift Ariana Grande route.
I don't see why that was the problem though for that.
That's just not what she wants to do though.
Man, I don't want to hear that what you want to do. I want to hear about what's going to get us paid. And we feel like this going to get us paid. Listen to them. If it don't work, generally they give you that opportunity to do what you want to do on that next project. But they want you to at least listen to them first.
Yeah, but creatives are creatives, you know? If you are
come on now, we're not going to put her in that kind of situation.
Know.
She ain't writing no bars. I don't believe you. Even if you are, I don't believe you, Coily Ray.
But if she wants to be a hip hop artist, then she wants to be a hip hop artist. She don't want to be a pop artist. So I don't know.
Okay. Well, if that's the stance you're gonna take on it, I think she needs to go the pop route. I think she has the look for it. I think she can transition and get a lot of white fans, and that's that's where the money at.
Yeah.
I think she can appeal to a white audience really well.
She would.
All right, so
I think she'll appeal to a white audience doing what she do already.
Did you see the DC Young Fly? I think he did an interview. I don't know if it was Cam Newton or not, but he was just on a recent podcast and he was talking about, his personal situation that happened with the mother of his child.
That I did not see.
Okay, I'm gonna play it right here.
If you look at the women today, it's a lot of women who have BBLs. Right. So I'm constantly reminded, like, they made it. They go another big booty. She made it. See what I'm saying? I get why women wants to enhance themselves. I get it. But fellas, we have to do more on just continuously telling our women that they're beautiful.
You're enough.
You have to continuously tell them that they're gorgeous. Don't make your woman feel like she has to go do something, even if you go with another chick. Like, no. You just love a woman. That's it. And women, listen to your man. Just listen. I'm not finna sit here and tell somebody don't do what they want to do, don't do the rule. No. People make decisions. You have to live with that as a unit. So I can't even sit here and say, oh, I'm against nothing. Oh, I'm with it. As a unit, I took a loss.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
I think it's really rough, especially in this situation that he's in, because she was an entertainer in her own right. Mm-hmm. Like, she had a reason to why she would want to do that. Like, it's part of the gig of when your job, especially for women, for the most part, your job in this entertainment industry, first and foremost, is to look good. Like, that is like the prerequisite for all female in any kind of entertainment.
Yeah.
Even if you go into sports a little bit, like, you have to be somewhat attractive for them to really try to push you in a real way.
For people to care. Yeah.
So it's like, it's tough in that situation. And you can, to me, I didn't know if he felt this way. It really sounds like he blames himself in that.
Yeah.
If you kind of just listen to the word and the language that he was using, he kind of blamed himself for not maybe standing on his ground a little bit more with that.
Yeah, that fucking sucks too. Like, the fact that he's blaming himself and then he's reminded on a regular basis that she could have made it. Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I'm going to be honest. If I was in that situation, or if I think of any kind of man in that situation, it is your fault. That's your girl, your woman, and she's going under the blade. She is essentially telling the world, my life in the body that I'm currently in is less than, and I would rather die than continue living in the body that I'm living.
I would rather put myself at risk.
No, I mean, you're saying at the end of the day, because your life you can lose your life from these procedures.
Yeah.
You're essentially saying when you sign that paperwork, anytime you go into surgery for real, because a doctor will tell you that no matter how innocuous the surgery is, your life is at risk. You could die from this procedure.
And then I just wonder what like state of mind you have to be in for like your husband, your partner, whoever, to be like adamant, like, please no, don't do this, it's dangerous. And for you to be like, no, this is like a priority, I'm still gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're essentially saying what I'm saying. You're putting whatever the state of your existence is at this time is not good enough for you to continue living life. Mm-hmm. And you have to change it so that you can have that outcomes that you want.
That's sad.
It is sad, and I just feel so bad that like you. It's just like, especially for that. It's not like this was like, oh, she had a tumor and they cut the wrong artery or something. She bled out. Like,
yeah, it was a completely unnecessary procedure,
and it was for nothing. You know what I mean? And I just feel bad for her, man. I remember there was a video that happened like literally right after the DC Young Fly situation happened, like right after she passed, where folks was like, it was a dude who was saying that he was saying like, oh no, this is your fault. You did this. This is what you wanted. He was like really going in at DC Young Fly. I thought that was really rough, especially right at the timing of it. But I could also understand what they were saying, where it's like, regardless in any kind of situation, people are going to look at it and they're going to say you was the man in the house, and what happened, you let fly. And that's where it's like, it sucks because you could be the person that's asking, no, don't do this, but everyone's going to insinuate you talking down on her. You know, people saying that about him. They were saying like, oh no, he probably was talking to her and making her feel like she had to go do this, like fresh after this happened.
Yeah, people are very insensitive. Like, this man just lost the mother of his children, his wife.
Well, they never really confirmed that they were married or not, but they were together. They did have multiple children together.
Yeah, like, that's not the time for you to be doing that. That's not the time for you to be blaming him for what happened to her, any of that. And then, like, I feel like it's very easy to just go on the internet and say shit like that because you don't think that he could be reading those comments and like in bed crying, sobbing. Like, I always think about shit like that.
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw him after he was on New Rory and Mall, and you could tell like, and no, I think it was actually Breakfast Club when he was up there with the 85 South show, and you could just tell where it was like, yeah, he may probably do what he got to do on stage, and you know, but he's feeling different. Like, he's moving different, he's feeling different. He has more on his mind. He's probably thinking about reality in a way, complicated and complex way. It's just, man, especially when
his entire life for the rest of his life has completely changed because he's gonna have to.
That's a part of
his children. He's gonna have to explain this to his children
multiple times because they're young too.
Yeah.
So it's not like this something that they
and then
can
every single holiday, birthday, it's not.
It doesn't stop.
No, it just keeps hurting. This just the exact amount. You just learn how to cope a little bit better each year.
Yeah, that's why it's just like you said, bro. At the end of the day, we was talking about it's important just to, bro. If it ain't something that you need, we gotta help each other. Like, we gotta bring each other up with our words and the way that we really express our feelings for each other. Because that cosmetic stuff, granted, it can make you feel good, it can make you look good for some people, but that's the risk that you have to put out. Is it really worth it?
It's not. Before I met my husband, like, I was gonna get work done. Like, I had the doctor picked out. Okay, the money was there, and I was gonna get my boobs done. So that was definitely a thing. And then I was gonna do like the filler, like the hip dips and stuff. And he literally, like, multiple times over and over and over again looked me straight in my eye with the most intensity and was like, no, like, absolutely not. Like, you're perfect the way why would you do not need to do that. Like, and then I was like, okay.
I mean, because there's no point of putting yourself in a situation where you can have an allergic reaction or something. Like, with so many,
never know.
With so much stuff that's just going on. Like, my mom had a friend, and we can, end it off here. My mom had a friend, and she was having cosmetic surgery, and they used iodine on her, and she was allergic to iodine, and it resulted in her passing away. And she literally lost her life because, and this is like really like, actually this happened like really close to the time that Kanye West lost his mom, if I remember the timeline correctly. But it was a really just BS way for her to lose her life. She had a daughter. Her daughter was in a wheelchair, so she couldn't really, do too much for herself growing up and all that. Like, it was really tough just to see that happen. It was like she had a great life. She was buying cars, had her own house, and just to see it just be taken away because she was just trying to appease or look a particular way.
Yeah.
And now
she was trying to boost her confidence in some way.
Yeah, even though she had a great, from outside looking in, she looked like she had a great life. And just to see that people just doing that, and like I said, that's all it takes is them not knowing you allergic to something, and now you.
But then also, you might not know you're allergic to something. That's something that I am scared of too, because I have been to the hospital, like emergency room, once in my life, and it wasn't like that big a deal. But like, there's lots of drugs that I have never been introduced to, so I don't know if I'm allergic to penicillin or this or that. Like, how would I know unless I go and I randomly have an allergic reaction to it? And hopefully people are paying attention to me enough to catch it. But also, I'm a black woman.
Yeah.
That also plays into it. Like, people are gonna pay less attention to me specifically because I'm a black woman in a medical space. And that's been proven. So you have to think about that too. Like, when complications arise when you go into cosmetic surgery as a black woman too, they're not gonna fucking like spring into action to save you.
No, you're right. Unfortunately, they're not gonna care. They're not gonna give it a second thought. They're gonna do everything they gotta do with by the book. But that's literally where it stops and starts.
Yeah, and then if you're having an allergic reaction to something that neither you or them knew, then it's washing their hands. They're done. That's it. It's a days of paperwork, and then that's it.
That's all it is. Just a couple signatures and into the morgue you go. That's all that happens. So, hey, man, everybody, I know it seems like you want that and it feels like your life can't get there. I understand there's some results that you can't get in the gym. Like, a lot of guys will say, oh, you just need to go in the gym. No, you can't get some of these results in the gym.
Sometimes you're just not built like that.
But if you got family, if
That's
you got
okay,
people,
though.
But my thing is, if you got family, if you got kids and stuff like that, you got to be mindful of that. The people I've known who've done it didn't have kids. They didn't have nobody besides their mama and stuff that cared about them like that. So if that's what you got to do that. But once you start bringing kids in this world, hey, man, I know pregnancy does a horrible thing to your body, but appreciate those scars. Don't try to feel like you got to alter what you look like because you brought somebody into this world. Like, that was a great feat in and of itself.
Yeah, that's really sad. Alrighty, so Amanda Seales was on Club Shay Shay today. It was like a 3-hour long interview. It was really good. I want to start by saying that I have enjoyed Amanda Seales for a long time. I listened to her podcast, Small Doses.
Shoot the bail out.
No. And then I watched our last clip when we talked about her just to make sure that I didn't contradict myself. But I was on her side the whole time last time too, so we're good. I'm not contradicting myself. But yeah, so I've enjoyed her for a long time. She's very smart. You can tell that she's like a very scholarly person.
Yeah, she was definitely in the library in college.
She definitely was. And Shannon Sharp was not. Okay? Like, I don't think Shannon has interviewed anybody this like book smart before that I've watched. So it was like glaringly obvious the difference in their levels of education when I was watching this interview.
All right, so I got a little clip that kind of demonstrates that a little bit. So,
And I was in the situation at Disney. I was there as the only black girl.
Okay.
And there was a whole crew. It's like 12 of us. And so I was called an N-word right there while I was there. And I was also bullied while I was there because I was told that you're only here because you're black. You can't really dance. You're just here because you're black. So don't get any ideas. So that's what I'm being told by the other children. Does that suffice as racist to you, or would you want to call it something else? Is that just kids being mean?
The kids. So let me ask you a question. As a child, you never said anything derogatory? You was just this model citizen as a child? I mean, children. Now, we're talking children, not functioning adults. Now, if you told me as adults, parents were telling you this, or the execs or people that are in charge of Disney are telling you this, I could agree with it. But at 89, you're probably 8, 9 years of age. Maybe younger.
So you have no problem with the children that were cursing out Ruby Bridges and the Little Rock Nine? You think do you think that was just them being kids?
Two things can be true. Kids can be kids and not function as an adult, and things can be wrong. And sometimes when kids say things, they're repeating what they heard their parents say. They don't know it's wrong.
So what about the children who are receiving it? that know it's wrong. Does that not matter?
Yes.
So if I'm 10 and I'm receiving that treatment and I know it's wrong, does it make my experience of it less?
It doesn't make it any less valid. No.
So that's what we're here to talk about. My experience.
Yes.
So my experience is that I experienced that and it was difficult. So that's the valid part of this. I'm not here to protect those people because it's irrelevant.
He does that a couple times in the beginning of the interview, and she specifically at one point goes, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm reinterpreting for y'all in my words. So she basically goes, Shannon, I went and got a master's. I am a scholar of race. I know more about this than you do. I can speak about it in a way that's more complex than you can. So when I say some shit, let it rock and don't try to refute it because you literally do not have the facilities to do so.
I mean, I think I think when it comes to a guy like Shannon, like I said, we in one of our other videos we discussed where Glenville, where he's from, like they have kind of a mindset about race where it's like that's just life, not really like to kind of question it. Like I was even talking to my dad before about the past, and like he even said where like if you had certain conversations or you talked a certain type of way, you were labeled a troublemaker.
Yeah, and that's what she called herself over and over and over again. Like throughout her life, from her childhood up until her adulthood, now still she was labeled as a troublemaker.
And those usually be the people who have the resistance to the status quo.
Yes. Early on in the interview, she lets us know that she was literally just diagnosed with autism. Literally. She's like somewhere on the spectrum. It used to be called Asperger's, but now she's just like, it's just spectrum autism that she was diagnosed with, like by her psychiatrist.
I mean, I don't want to say too much because, like I said, I want to give the space to be because I was a little harsh on her a little bit on our last clip. So I want to give her space to express herself. But
yeah, and also like autism is usually not diagnosed in Black women until like way, way, way later in their lives because of racism.
No, I mean, again, that's why I'm not trying to speak to against anything. I will say, convenient. That's all. That's all I said. That's all I said.
I don't like that.
That's all I said.
I feel like you could have kept that to yourself altogether.
I just said. That's all I said.
Even though you said that one word, I feel like that was very. I don't like that.
That was anti-Black. That was misogynoir.
Yeah, it was misogynoir.
Noir.
So yeah, she talks about how her being autistic and her being diagnosed with autism helped her understand herself better in the way she interacts with people and the way she understands the world and the type of stimulation she's always needed and things of that nature. So and she's dealing with it. She has her therapist, her psychiatrist. She said that she has a great support system around her when it comes to that. I also want to mention later on in the interview, she talks about a lot of stuff. She basically goes through like her history in the industry. When she gets to Insecure,
that's when we get to the tea.
That's when it really got like, it was messy basically the whole time because this is a Black woman telling her story. So she's being abused. She's not being protected. It's messy all along the way, but now it gets particularly messy.
So before we get into the details, what was your overall synopsis of Issa after she told this story?
I was disappointed.
No, you said another phrase.
Oh, I said she's not a girl's girl. Yeah, I feel like that was just me talking shit though. Like I don't want to say that fully because I still like both of them very much. And I don't want to think this of Issa, but at the same time, like Amanda was speaking her truth and she was very blunt about it. And I don't think she's lying at all. And the way, so let me tell you, because we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that off.
So Amanda talks about how she went to this the Black Emmys party one year. The next year, she goes to the Black Emmys party and she's not let in. She's not let in. She tries to leave multiple times, but every time she tries to leave, one of her colleagues is like, what do you mean they're not letting you in? No, wait here. I'm going to go work this out. And this happens with like a couple different people while she's trying to leave. Somebody finally gets her in. After she's in, a security guard walks up to her and tells her that she has to leave. She's like, why do I have to leave? It's Issa Rae's manager. So they had a prior, like, not back and forth, but like she knew that Issa Rae's manager didn't like her and brought it up to Issa, and Issa was basically like, I don't have anything to do with this. And that, which is weird because this is your manager who has a problem with your talent on your set. So you kind of do have something to do with it because you would be the mitigating party in this situation. But you're trying to, like, keep your hands clean of it. That says something, right? That it doesn't say that you want to keep out of it. It says to me that you support your manager's actions.
Yeah, I mean, you would think
if you know what's going on,
or you at least want to find out because you want to at least know information about what this riff is about.
Yeah, but that wasn't the case. So Issa is just like, every time she's just like, keep me out of it. So Amanda is kicked out of the party by 4 security guards. She said that all of them were black men, or the majority of them were black men. So she's in a black space in a black event, and a black woman sticks black men on her to kick her out of said black event. So it didn't sit well with her. When she talked about it, the whole thing happened with the articles coming out, all the op-eds coming out about how she has hubris, she's combative, people don't like her. And all of these were op-eds from people who had never met her, and they were based off tweets. And none of her coworkers actually like came out and actually said that they did not like her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was one of the ones that we
one
read.
Of them did.
One of the ones we read, the op-ed, and we talked about it on the show. That was one of the ones we talked about where they made that claim.
Yeah. So she talks about how that hurt her a lot because she rides for the black community a lot. So like all of those media, or all of the black media, like shunning her while at the same time re-embracing Candace Owens, who they bring up in this interview also. So they bring up
Shannon was being messy boots again.
Shannon was definitely being messy. Before we get off, she also talked about her experience on the Insecure set, how she literally came to Issa crying multiple times. The first time she came to Issa crying, Issa was actually receptive, and she had a conversation. She set up a conversation between Amanda and her manager, and Amanda was like, "Why don't you like me? Like, what's the problem?" And the manager was like, "I don't like you." And Amanda was like, "Okay, like, that's your problem. We've never interacted. I've never done anything to you." And she talks about this over and over again, like her being perceived as difficult in her life. People just think that she's better than them. She thinks she's better than them. But that's what happens when you're like smart, light-skinned, pretty, all that stuff. People project their insecurities onto you. That's probably what was going on in her life. So, yeah. She talked about her experience on the Insecure set, and when she came crying to Issa said, "You know what? It's probably because I'm looking at you like you're a character." Tiffany, bitch, you wrote this character. You wrote this character and then hired me to play her. What do you mean? Now you're mistreating me? She was like, "Am I that good of an actress?"
So basically she was saying she couldn't feel empathy for her because she was thinking of her like the character?
Yes.
That's crazy. That is wild.
Like, she couldn't come to her defense at all. So while she's being kicked out by 4 black men and this and that, like, nobody comes to her defense at all. All these black people in this room, in this industry, and she's kicked out. Nobody said shit. Mm-hmm. Except the girl, like her friend that was with her.
Was this after the issue with the revolutionary nigga situation?
No, so she's jumping around. I don't know what the timeline actually is because she's jumping around a lot. But she also got in trouble on set for calling somebody a revolutionary nigga, and the person said that they're not a nigga, and then she said that she got in trouble for not taking it back.
Yeah, I mean, it's
on the Insecure set where they was basically like nigga on camera all the time.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I can understand where, like she said, she made that kind of point because I didn't watch the whole interview. You watched more of it than me, but she did make a point where she was saying like people try to use simple interactions like that they can try to throw back on me to make me like a bad person, when it's like, this is really just an innocuous interaction we're having right now. Me taking that back doesn't really change your day and affect you in a real way. It wasn't like I called you less than. You know, I was giving you a compliment. You didn't appreciate
to her,
the
that's
compliment.
a huge compliment.
Yeah, I mean, and he didn't appreciate the compliment the way it was phrased. Cool, but like, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. And it's a lot of people, like she said, a lot of people want to break you down.
They were nitpicking her.
I've experienced that before too, where it's like people try to find little faults and things because you're able to clearly make an analysis of their faults or the faults around other people. And you're able to articulate it a certain way, which they can't do and they can't copy. Yeah. So it makes them feel a certain kind of way. So I understand her in that point where it can bring, especially people hate revolutionary light skinned people too. Like that bothers them a lot. Like Huey Newton, he had a lot of stuff where conversations with people didn't like him because he was considered a high yellow nigga at the time.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy because I.
But the yellow the yellow niggas usually are the most revolutionary because we get
Shut
to see
your fucking mouth.
It's the truth. Malcolm, like, come on, yellow niggas be revolutionary. Don't do that. We outside with it.
Okay.
Don't do that.
But damn, I was gonna say something else. There was something else I was gonna bring up while I was talking about this.
Well, while you remember, let me ask you one question. Did Shannon ever bring up the conversation I said where she had wrongfully accused that guy of harassing a black
Shannon
woman?
didn't bring it up. She brought it up. She brought it up really quickly because
shout out to Amanda Seales for doing that.
Yeah, she brought it up really quickly, and she said that was something that she learned from, and she also said that that's something that people hold on to prove that she like hates black men, and she does not hate black men. She was like, I've lifted a nigga up. She's lifted so many niggas up. Like she sang it.
Did it feel like she watched our video a little bit?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I wanted to go with it, but no.
I'm just saying.
It doesn't seem like she watched it. No. What else? So, God damn it. What were we just talking about before this?
I said about the man that she made the accusation.
No, before that.
We were talking about the revolutionary nigga and her working on the set with Issa.
Okay. So, yeah, basically Issa did not support her in any way. So that kind of really changed my opinion on Issa. I don't like it. I hate that for Issa, and I don't think she's gonna even say anything about it. So
I mean, but let's give Issa a little grace here. Even though I feel like I've said these things that people try to put these ideals on, especially people like her, Issa Rae. There's a whole bunch of people like I said, Kendrick. They try to put these ideals of them when generally that's not who these people are. These people are trying to get an outcome that is almost a complete opposite to what a lot of the fan base put on them. Mm-hmm. So I think that like, what do you feel like disappointed you the most in that? Was it just because she didn't have Amanda Seales back, or do you feel like there was something that Amanda referenced that disappointed you that Issa wouldn't have responded a certain way?
Well, it was Issa literally laughing in her face the second time, because she mentioned that in the car scene to Malibu, they were actually like in a car driving somewhere, and she got emotional about something because something had just happened, and she was crying, and Issa was literally laughing. It was like, well, it's your tone. You do have a tone. I don't, like, as a black woman, how do you say that to another black woman? Like, oh, you have a tone. What? We know that we're perceived as more aggressive, more angry, more this and that. And Amanda talked about her being loud and opinionated her entire life and her being perceived as such. Like, I would think that Issa would not fall into that box of just like doing that to another black woman when her entire career has been about uplifting other black women on set. Her production sets, everything, like the camera women, the sound people are all black women. They're all women. So like that really disappoints me that like you specifically did this to someone who was on your show for that long. There was a black woman that was under, like, you were her boss. She was coming to you and you had the power to make things easier for her, and you specifically chose not to for whatever reason.
Do you think it had something to do with maybe trying to get the best art out of the production, and maybe she felt like pushing those emotions with Amanda got the best results?
I don't know.
Because I mean, isn't like it's not like we've seen Amanda in a whole bunch of stuff after.
No, Amanda, she's done so many things. By the way, like
I mean, I know
realize
she's a stand-up comedian and all that.
No, that's like the most recent thing. She started out. Well, first of all, she was doing like a bunch of like thesis papers and interviewing rappers, and she got her master's and like she got her master's with a concentration in hip hop from Columbia.
Oh no, I've never looked into
Yeah,
that.
like and then she made her degree at her school because they didn't have an African American studies degree, so she glued two schools together and brought it to the dean and made her degree herself. Like she was the first person at her college that got that degree. She used to be on Sirius Radio. She was on radio, and then she did flowetry. She was a singer for a little bit. She dropped the album.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and then she was on Insecure, and then she did Smart Funny Black, that game show that she took on the road, and then she did that other show with Jeff Foxworthy and Chrissy Teigen, like Funny People or something like that. And now she's doing kind of like, she's not saying it's stand-up comedy. She's calling it like a TED Talk that you laugh at. But like, she's like a Renaissance woman.
No, she's always been in that realm of people like have perceived her as very talented.
She's wildly talented.
Like she's never had
Shannon
a special.
Sharp
right?
is not. Okay?
He's not articulate.
He's not.
He is talented. He's a hell of a football player.
Yeah. So while Amanda Seales was in college reading books and gaining actual knowledge, Shannon Sharp was getting his brainstem knocked back and forth. His soft matter was smushing against his skull because all of the cards, okay, it's not even Shannon Sharp's fault. It is Shannon Sharp's fault, actually, because you hired these idiots. All of his information was wrong. He was like, so you are on iHeartMedia. She was like, that was done 2 years ago. He's like, and you have a white mom. She was like, fully black mother. She's from Grenada. And he's like, so she married a white man. She was like, also have a black father. I'm fully black. No whites. None.
Real light skin. Shout out to the real light skins. Real authentic light skin.
She's an authentic, just fully black light skinned woman who just.
I'm putting it up for the light skins.
She was like, yeah, my great grandmother was raped, and her slave master literally signed all of our birth certificates and had like 12 children. And then my grandmother in Grenada was also raped. So that's why I'm light skinned. And she was like, I don't like when people try to diminish my blackness for being light skinned when I'm light skinned because of trauma.
Somebody said that in one of our comments when we just dropped our light skin video. Mm-hmm. And they was like, you still had a lot of race mixing to get to your color. And I'm like, that was not consensual. Like nobody
consensual,
excuse me. That was not consensual at all.
No.
That was against our will, sir.
Yeah. So
don't remind us of our trauma.
And then Shannon mentions people who specifically shun the black community and try to profit off of trying to cater to the white community.
Like being a grifter.
Yeah, and she's like, stop right there. I don't know her. She was like, I don't know her. And Shannon's like, we got to get to it. So he brings up Candace Owens.
Messy boots Shannon.
And she mentions that the same black media platforms that were trying to say that she has all this hubris and she's a victim of her own confidence and this and that were the same media platforms that were letting Candace Owens do this tap and dance back into the black community's lap.
So he's talking about Joe Budden. Because I don't think for the most part,
the
Breakfast Club
there
is
were
always...
other publications like that were writing about her and stuff like that. No, she's not. And then surprisingly...
Well, the reason I say that is because Ice on Joe Budden's podcast was talking shit about... Well, he took some shots at Amanda Seales. Especially about the thing that I talked about. Mm-hmm. With the man who made them comments.
The
dude
guys that she
talked about.
Yeah. I forgot what I was saying, babe.
Oh, about what? Well, you were just saying that. Well, I was talking about the publications about Candace Owens.
Yeah, so she was saying that like those are the same publications that were embracing Candace Owens and trying to shun her when she's been being pro-black the whole time we've known Amanda, she been 10 toes for black people.
Yeah, she's definitely the girl that would come up with the keefy.
Yeah, so she said that she had a whole mental breakdown, like a full, like she was
recently.
Yeah, because of all these articles and because of the community that she's been so passionate about defending and like trying to teach us things. She got her degrees so she could speak on behalf of us, so that like she could have this knowledge to do so. And then to see the same community shunning her for things that were also baseless and factless. She had a mental breakdown, because she also said that she's had troubles with suicide and her mental health and things of that nature. So she had to like dig deep into her support system.
Wasn't she critical of like the conflict that's going on in Palestine and stuff like that too? I don't know if she spoke on it. I just heard that she was critical of it, and that was another reason that the NAACP didn't invite her to that event. I think that was one of the ones that she was upset about.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's what
I didn't see anything about that.
That's what I read.
She didn't mention that at all.
Okay, so I thought I read something about that too as well.
But yeah, she got an award at the NAACP awards, but to not be invited is a choice.
No, I think that's where it came up to being, because she has been speaking out against Israel.
Speaking of choices, Shannon Sharpe's interview style, I think, is a choice. So you, as an interviewer, you have like your questions that you want to ask. But when you're interviewing someone as complex as Amanda Seales, and she's going different places, she's ebbing and flowing, you have to flow with her, right? She would flow somewhere, and then he'd be like, next question on my list. Like the conversation could have been so nuanced, and it could have been so good. And I feel like I want to see somebody else who's like slightly on par with Amanda Seales sit down and have a conversation with her. I kind of want to see her sit down with Angie Martinez, because Angie Martinez does have a more like like she flows with you. She lets you take it where like it naturally is going. Shannon doesn't do that. He's very rigid in like where he's like forcing you to go somewhere. Now we're talking about this.
In the clips that I saw, it seemed like he was kind of giving like a lot of the follow-up questions that a lot of people wanted when he did the Cat Williams interview. And he brought that to this interview, which it doesn't necessarily really call for it, because a lot of the stuff that she's talking about isn't like with other people in the media and, other, celebrities. She's talking about a lot, especially the ones that got viral, where she was talking about a lot of things that happened to her as a youth, where it's like there isn't really anybody here to verify or someone named to protect in that situation. So it's not really necessary that you kind of not contradict her, but question her and try to get more clarification out of those kind of questions, because it was just a story of her life experience. So I can understand why she would feel invalidated.
Yeah, and it was just, she's so smart. And then I just wanted him to ask her, like, I was thinking of questions that you should ask her based off what she just said. And then he would fully just change the topic fully. And it was just so like jarring every time he did it. It was just like switch. I don't like that. That's not where she was going.
But see, I've noticed that it's like
it's a
that.
Choice.
I noticed, but it's like that when people, he doesn't really know their industry and things of that nature. Like he doesn't really have a backing, so he doesn't really feel comfortable diving into that because of the whole allegations of being messy boots. That's what it seems like to me anyway, and what I've heard.
That, and then also obviously his research, whatever research team he has, is inaccurate. They don't do their job correctly.
I mean, I feel like for this one, from what you had said, that they dropped the ball, but usually they do a pretty good job. But it's the people that he normally interviews, for the most part, have been either comedians or athletes, like guys like that, who he's kind of, he's closer to that world.
It doesn't matter. You have a platform that garners millions of views per interview at this point. Do the research correctly and ask the questions right. Point blank, period. You have the resources to do so. Regardless of if you personally have a connection with this person, personally have a connection with the industry that they're a part of, or not. Shannon, do your job. I want a concise interview.
Well, I mean, his job is to hire the people that to do the good job. So
Do the job.
that was the
job needs to, whoever needs to do the job,
Yeah.
get it done.
Shannon doesn't have enough time to be out here writing the questions and things like
No,
that.
but
He has enough time to show up and respond
and
to
prep.
what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna hold him too much on that. Like definitely his team has to step up, and yes, it does come back on him when his team drops the ball.
Yeah, he looks crazy.
I mean, it does make him look good, especially with the whole country bumpkin allegations.
Yeah, because you sound stupid a lot of the times.
All right, well, somebody who doesn't sound stupid. We're not gonna say too much long on this one, but I just want to say, man, Tucker Carlson, that's gonna be a dangerous motherfucker right there. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because right now he's doing the Republican talking head to right wing conspiracy theorists. Like he's doing that perfectly. Like he is a top tier person at this. And I was just seeing him on a Joe Rogan podcast, and the way that he's able to articulate himself, the poise that he's able to discuss like the matter, the topic, even though he's lying probably like 40% of the time, like he does it so good. It's amazing. Like, okay, so at one point he talks about like Amish people, right? He's like, realize Amish people don't get, come up with autism and cancer and all this other stuff like that. That's a lie. Like, that's just not true at all. They get autism, they get cancer, they get all the shit that we do. It's just they don't have doctors where they're at who's diagnosing them, so they don't get the diagnosis the same way that we do. But it's hilarious. And then, like, it was people who were talking about, like the kind of like the simple life. He kind of compared like, oh, you don't think a Amish girl is having a better life than, a teenager girl, a normal teenage girl right now? And I'm like, do y'all not know what goes on in the Amish community? These niggas ain't got no fucking TVs. They ain't got no kind of video recording information. They do whatever to them women. Like, and it's going on record. You can look up arrested
There's
Amish
documentaries
people.
about it too.
Like Amish people set niggas up.
There's documentaries. There's like networks that try to like save them.
When I was a little boy, right, we used to go to like this little flea market in the kind of like the southern part of our state in Maryland. And the Amish people would be not too far away. So they would it would be kind of like a place where the city people and the Amish people would meet at this flea market. Mm-hmm. So they would do this thing where they would send one of the boys to go try to get some food, right? He would get the food. They would tell him how much it costs. He ain't got the food. What they'd be trying to do is find somebody who's going to pay for his food to see who's got money so they can line you up. Because I remember like,
Amish people was lining people up.
Yeah, I was gonna offer to pay for the little boy food. I'm young too though, so but I had money, so I was like, I felt bad. Like I'm like, oh man, this nigga can't get this little sausage that he just ordered. Like that sucks. Like I got $5 for you, but somebody stopped me and was like, don't do that. He's like, they looking for people to rob. So what they do is they send a little kid out there. They see who's gonna show the money to help the kid out and flex, and then they follow you out and line you up.
With what?
I mean, they got sticks and guns. Like
they are allowed to use guns.
Yeah, they had guns back in the olden days.
Okay. Oh well, yeah, they got muskets.
No, they got real rifles now. They gonna use the rifles.
Oh shit.
So I mean, but
not automatic though.
I just thought that was funny.
What are the rules about Amish?
Well, that just depends on what like Amish community you in.
Oh.
But that's not even important.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, these niggas is out here doing dirt just like anybody else.
Out here robbing niggas.
And for Tucker Carlson to get on his platform, that platform with Joe Rogan, and be out there talking all that crazy mess. Like I said, I think he's going to be dangerous because he just perfectly is doing that transition. Like we've seen a whole bunch of other pundits do this where they start going crazy, but he's able to do this in such a way that it's going to grab more people than you would think. Like his platform is going to keep getting stronger. He's keep going to grow. Like it's funny where he talks about, there was a clip that came out where somebody was talking, where they show him like, it's probably like early 2000s. And he's telling people like, oh, this guy's a nut job. He's just on the outs with the community. So that's why he's doing all these conspiracy things. And then when you go back and listen to him right now, exact same thing. So it's just, people are going to say, oh, well, he just learned more information. But it's like, nah, you just not in the right with the community more. Like they were going through some BS. They made you the sacrificial lamb. So now you on your own trying to get your own shit going. But it's tough to sit there, listen to him, and not want to just believe everything he says. Yeah. For real. It's tough.
He presents it in a fashion that's just dazzling.
But it's just everything that's coming. He's like Roger Cronkite. Like, you just feel like you're supposed to believe him. Like, all the conditioning of, like, old white media, he just pulls it out of his ass, and it's just like, yeah, this is right.
Yeah,
Like,
I believe you.
Even though you know it's wrong, you're like, no, he's made it sound right.
But it's provocative. It gets the people going.
And that's the thing about these conservatives, and we can wrap it up here, but that's the thing about these conservatives, man. They use very simple language, and they're able to, get that little primitive, like, rock brain niggas got going on, like the caveman brain. Like, they're able to, like, talk to that portion of your head, and then you're just like, oh, well, hold on. Common sense and all that shit just goes out the door. Even though common sense isn't common, but still. All that, like, all of your normal procedures go out the door. Like, I really wanted to think, like, I wanted to go tell somebody this. Like, oh, Amish people don't get autism? I had to stop myself and go do some research.
Because that doesn't sound right at all. When you think about it, do some critical thinking.
You would think that the people who aren't getting, regular doctor's appointments probably are not going to have good diagnostic records. So, all right. They're trying to throw away TikTok, man.
No, please.
We just starting to get our TikTok jumping too.
Where am I gonna be able to go and type in fun things to do Black people Atlanta restaurants and actually find that?
And then get a cute little video that just shows her everything she needs to be stimulated.
Everything. Where am I gonna type in fucking Black girl hairstyles?
Wig discount codes.
Yeah, okay. Literally, Amazon Black girl wig discount glueless. Nowhere else can I do that and get results that are actually relevant to what I'm looking for.
And so basically kind of let everybody know Biden just signed this today. So it is going into effect. The company, I think, what do they call, ByteDance or whatever?
I don't know, but they snuck it into like a relief something.
So basically, if the original one didn't go through, so what they did was they threw it into the relief bill for the Ukraine and Israel, and I think Taiwan was another place they're giving money to. First off, I hate when seeing people react to this, and
they were like, who the fuck is Taiwan? Why we giving money to Taiwan? Did y'all not know that China has had their foot on Taiwan's neck for God knows how long?
Well, first things first, let's stop saying that we're giving money to these countries. We're not giving money to these countries. We're giving money to rich business fucks, and then they're providing goods to these countries. Like that, this money goes right back to America. It's just them writing a blank check for the American elite at fucking Lockheed and all these other Lockheed Martin and all this shit. That's all this doing. So let's stop saying that. I hate when people say, "Oh, we're giving all this money." No, we're not. We're giving money to rich fucks so that they can then provide a service for these countries.
Yeah, and
so
they're getting richer.
Understand that first off, but to see the way that they did this, it's just so disgusting to see how our government can operate. Because this bill didn't pass initially, but when you put it in with all this other bullshit, you put it underneath the military relief shit, and everything just gets passed. It was dope to see people who were trying to do resistance and protesting. I don't think they were able to garner the numbers that they did because they did this shit like off the sneak.
Which is why
I think
that
they came
allowed?
in on a weekend. Like I want to say they came and did this on a weekend, and pretty much got everything set up. They wrote the bill out, and then this week, pretty much everything went through. It was the House Monday, Senate Tuesday. Signing it on Wednesday. We don't get nothing else passed like this. Nothing else. But then you also see a lot of these senators and stuff, they've been putting money into Meta. Granted, the stock has been going down. I was looking at it today. But they've been putting a lot of money into Meta because they think that they're going to be the one that's going to be able to buy TikTok up. But according to the CEO, he said that they are going to take it to court so that it isn't going to go into effect right away.
Good.
Like, because I think the bill said they had 6 months to sell. I think if they take it to court, that's going to extend how long they're able to stay in the business. But this is like, I don't see how you could support this in any way. Like, I see people who are drinking the Kool-Aid saying, oh, I don't want Chinese people spying on us. Nigga, the CIA is spying on you right now. NSA, they're spying on you right now. Like, I hate to break it to you.
There was a whole thing with WikiLeaks and all this stuff. Like, they've been listening to y'all and spying on y'all for God knows how long.
Are you saying you want your spying probe to only be American? Is that what you're just saying? Because at the end of the day, they're all spying on you regardless. And what are you going to do? Like, what are you doing at home besides jacking your dick in front of like a webcam? Like, you're not doing anything interesting. You're not over here trying to create no terrorist organization. Like, you ain't doing no real revolution there. The fact that you care about Chinese people, quote unquote, spying on you shows that you're probably gonna vote for Trump. Like, it doesn't seem like you out here hiding too much. Nothing's gonna happen to you. So, like,
Fine.
People really drinking this Kool-Aid regarding the dangers of TikTok.
The reason they want TikTok banned is because of the information that goes around on
The
TikTok.
freedom of speech that goes around.
It's because the younger generation widely the whole time has been on Palestine's side the entire fucking time, because we're seeing these kids die and get their legs blown off.
Yeah, I mean, this is
in real time.
And we're able to see it and have conversations of people really bringing real information, not just...
There are journalists that I have been following from been getting bombed to them being displaced and just walking around, and just so many people, like, we've just watched people die. Like, you connected with these people, these actual Palestinian people, and then they just stop posting. And then somebody else will post, very somber tone, this person died. And then it just happened over and over and over again. We're watching this happen. You can't do propaganda. You can't propagate well.
I mean, especially in this situation where they don't have the invested interest to promote what you want them to promote.
Yeah.
Like, TikTok went against Universal. Like, that, when you really put that in context and to see what they're kind of, they might be the most American company out of the social media companies. Don't nobody want to talk about that. Nobody want to wake that shit up. But they may espouse to more American ideals, at least their practices, than the rest of us.
On paper, yeah.
Is it the Chinese fault that they said, hey, let's just show them the truth amongst each other and let them react to it, and then that creates whatever it creates? That's not China's problem. China just said, let's just put a light on what they trying to put a light on.
It's creating a younger generation that's reacting to something. This reminds me of Vietnam. Like,
I mean,
the American public's, and especially the younger people, their reaction to this and not supporting it was a big deal. And
remember the Arab Spring?
Here. Yeah.
This is what it kind of reminds me of too, like our kind of version of the Arab Spring, because that was the first time that they could really post information freely, like on Twitter and stuff, and not really have the conflict of their government stopping that information from being disseminated. So I think that in a real way, like, we are seeing and to me, I feel like if the government was smart, they wouldn't care, because the most disheartening thing is for us to push out this information and y'all still win. Like, that feels like a bigger win than anything else. Who cares if we know, or you can't make us fall in line? Like, the fact that you can defeat us at any turn, even in this situation with the fact that people don't want TikTok to go away, the American public is very clear. Like, you have those small little factions of people who say, oh, I don't want the Chinese here. But besides them, that little vocal minority, most people are okay with TikTok and like what it stands for.
The TikTok users are younger people. They don't want TikTok to go away.
And this set is strict. Like, how many videos have we got struck down? It's not like they out here just letting anything.
You can't just go on TikTok and just say whatever. But if you say it in a specific way, you can.
Yeah, you have to use the right language.
Yeah.
But I mean, for them to be as strict as they are, while also still pushing out the information that they push out, I can't see how you would be against them if you're the person who you claim to be as an American. I don't see it. Not at all. Ryan Garcia, though, crazy American. Is he American? I don't know
what he is.
That's a crazy nigga, though, but it worked. He got everybody to figure out, to think that he was nuts, that he didn't care about this fight.
We did a whole thing about it.
Yeah, we talked about it. Our whole conversation had zero to do with him being crazy or not, because we kind of felt like he was bullshitting. But we just talked about the people who were enabling it. But he got y'all red pill niggas.
He did, yeah.
He took y'all.
He said y'all believe anything.
He took y'all shit.
This goes along with what we talked about last episode with the whole QAnon making up all the bullshit. People just believe whatever they want to believe on the internet.
They want to believe what confirms their confirmation bias.
Yep.
They don't want to sit there and have to look up information, ask questions, because we even said, like, if this is happening to you, you need to show people. You need to tell people where it's at. Because if it's not, it just sounds like bullshit. And it sounds like you just going off your rocker, which you did because you wanted to throw your opponent off.
Yeah. I thought it was CTE. I didn't think you were actually. I thought somebody knocked you in the head real good. Like, I don't know.
I was like, my whole reaction to it was just the fact that he was able to garner so much attention around this. Just the way he did with, Andrew Tate. And then, after that, running his own space. To me, that was just the issue with people just not having the proper information in their head to be like, yo, why are we reacting like this to this fighter? That was what I was shocked at, that he was able to garner this kind of reaction to even manipulate the public to do this. Because to be honest with you, I wouldn't have known nothing about this fight if this nigga didn't say he knew kids was getting fucked in the forest. I'm going to be honest.
Neither would I. Because what was Kyle?
Yeah.
Like, that, I wouldn't have known anything about this. But
you said Kyle.
The guy he was fighting.
That was Devin Haney.
Devin Haney. Okay. I think he was funny though on the little like the GQ interview, I think it was. He was like, yeah, they hate me because I'm a pretty fighter. Like, they hate me because I'm pretty. Like, he was just being a dickhead. Like, I like that.
I hate when, like, did you see him smoking on the blunt afterwards? I hate niggas who smoke like that.
I didn't see him. I saw him chug the beer.
That was fake beer too.
Yeah, he said it was apple juice and sparkling water.
I hate guys who I hate people who smoke like the way he smoked.
What was he? Was he just?
Yeah, it was just looking like a little fish.
Oh my God, my college roommate, that fucking whore, cum bucket of a woman. She used to smoke. Like, she used to buy her own weed and smoke her own weed like that. She's like, girl, please, can you not? Could you please not?
That's exactly how. And he had a backwood too. It just.
I hated smoking with that bitch. Like, don't pass my blunt to anybody who smoked like that ever. I will take it back.
It was definitely like he was just wasting the weed. Like, I don't even think it was weed in there. I think he was just put some fucking grass in there and just was.
It wasn't weed. He can't smoke weed, can he?
Yeah, he can. He's a boxer, not a police officer.
I don't know what the rules are. I thought he was a sportsman.
Especially after the fight. They're not in no league or nothing. They just like in a commission, like where you kind of have to sign up. But
did he bet money on himself?
Yeah, you can do that. You can't bet that you're going to lose, but you can bet that you're going to win.
Yeah, because if you bet you're going to, that's not.
It's called taking a dive.
Yeah. You could control you losing. You can't control you winning.
But yeah, he pretty much, because he bet the other dude that he was going to make weight. And that's where he had lost that by like 3 pounds. Mm-hmm. So that's where everybody thought he was in. His head wasn't in there. He thought that,
They thought he didn't make weight because of that beer he chugged right before.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
it wasn't beer.
He knew what he was doing. He knew he was going to throw Buddy off. The thing is like he don't have the belt. And in a way, you can kind of say that's kind of smart because when you have the belt, then you kind of got to fight other people, and you kind of lose a certain level of autonomy. Like people, they want you to fight now. They want you. So now with him just being able to beat him, the belt is vacant, and he can still his PR is bigger than what it would have been if he just would have won the belt straight up with no funny business.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at it. I'm just, again, y'all.
Me neither.
Just the people who were just enabling it, y'all just show how stupid y'all were. Like
Ryan Garcia was right. And he was like saying things that like he was exposing Hollywood elites and blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all need to go touch grass.
For sure. All right. So the last topic we got here, Kelsey Plum. Are you familiar with her?
No.
So, we've been talking about the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark.
Oh, my God.
It's legit. Hey, the WNBA has been getting bigger. We need to kind of start putting more eyes on these people. And Kelsey Plum, she announced her divorce today. Or I think, was it today? Yeah, I think it was today. She announced her divorce from Darren Waller. Y'all not familiar? He plays for the Giants. I don't think it's the Jets. So I know he's a New York team. He plays for the Giants, and they just recently had a divorce. Should we read her post that she said?
Go ahead.
We can read it. She got into her feelings. She was telling,
She said she poured all of herself into him and blah, blah, blah. The huge, when you break up with somebody. You also said that he was like posting videos of him dancing while he had like breakup music in the background. The huge for a corny nigga. You know what though? I didn't know who she was. When I was doing my Googles on who she was, I recognized her face. She's that lady from that video where she was eating the popcorn. She's like,
yeah, they try to say that's the idea of the quirky white woman.
Fuck out of here, bitch. Like, the fuck?
All right, you ready?
Go ahead.
I'm devastated. I walked through fire for that man, but now I see it's time to go. God has given me an incredible life. I'm truly grateful for profound love from my family and friends. One day I'll share my story. Today is not that day. Thank you for the grace to process my pain, to forgive and move forward today and every day. I will continue to choose joy. Much love, KP. Philippians 1:6. I hate when the basketball girls put the Bible verse underneath. Oh my God, it's the worst. It's so corny and cheesy because they be the biggest freaks too. Like, stop putting Bible verses underneath y'all posts when y'all know y'all nasty gals. All right. But I've seen a lot of people were saying this, and it just was so weird to me. They kept saying Darren Waller fumbled Kelsey Plum. And I'm not saying that she's not an attractive woman or anything like that, but he's not Darius. Like niggas keep treating this nigga like he Darius. Like, that's not, he's a starter in the NFL. Like, you only get to start 11 positions on each side of the ball. So there's only 11 niggas start on offense.
Who is Darius?
His name Darius was Keke Palmer's.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. He
Keke
ain't this
Palmer's,
nigga.
okay.
Baby daddy.
Okay.
This nigga ain't Darius. This nigga is a professional
You
starting.
gotta say the woman's name in that situation.
I'm saying.
Nobody don't know who these niggas are.
That's fucked up. I don't see how that can be the case. So, be honest in this conversation. How can a man who is still playing, mind you, starter in the NFL, one of a couple, well, I would say a couple hundred guys, well, it's probably more than that, maybe 1,000 guys, less than 1,000 guys who play in the NFL, actively on any team. How can he fumble anybody?
He can't. Y'all are buck breeders. Is that what that is? Y'all wanted this tall NBA bitch to have a baby with this strong NBA nigga to make NFL nigga to make a beautiful biracial sports baby, a Jalen of some sorts. That's what y'all wanted.
That was the game plan?
Yes.
I don't think that's some LeVar Ball shit.
Yeah, like that's what y'all wanted. So I don't know. He didn't fumble this woman. Like,
I just don't think you can do that. When there's a certain position, just like I say with like Maya, Tracy Ellis Ross, there's a certain where you can be too beautiful to have a partner and too like successful where it's like there's no partner who could be with you as a woman. And as a man, granted, having a good woman is nice, but they come a dime a dozen when you got that much money. It's gonna be a lot of women who's gonna shape up and get that act right.
I'ma act right.
There's a lot that's gonna act right when you can bring that kind of lifestyle.
You have your pick of the litter. When you have your pick of the litter, you can't really fumble anything.
And like
you gonna fumble into just another batch of just as amazing, beautiful, not even more beautiful, maybe women.
My thing is this: he can find a girl who looks like Kelsey Plum and actually has time.
Yeah.
Kelsey has to work out. She has to be an athlete. She's in Vegas playing. Like, she has to do shit with her life. This other girl can be committed to you 100%.
Yeah, she can just dedicate her life to making your life easier.
And then while you're at practice, she just go spend your money.
Period.
That's what they do. All right. One thing I did ask, what is the lamest thing you've done during a breakup? Because you saw, like you said, you made a note that they were making little videos and stuff on each other. He was making little breakup videos. What's the corniest thing you've ever done during a breakup?
I went on like an outside spree. Like, you're gonna see me outside with niggas happy,
disgusting,
doing amazing, looking good as fuck.
That's vile behavior.
Like, and I was miserable outside.
You couldn't even
Every time
flex.
I went outside, I went back inside. No, I took enough videos outside to make it seem like I'm out here, but then I immediately went back inside every time.
Went at home, do some editing, and then posted them.
Yep.
That's sick. That's sick.
It was literally just content to make it seem like nigga, I don't give a fuck. But I give so many fucks. So much fucks.
I had a time, okay, so this was when I was in high school. So it's kind of before social media got really big and stuff like that. So it was weird too, because we broke up like in a weird way. Because I was thinking to myself, like, hey, we about to go to different schools. No point of putting ourselves in a situation where we have to be loyal to someone who's X amount of miles away. So I'm thinking we just going to enjoy the rest of our senior year, and then we'll break up after the summer.
Is this your baby mama?
No, this is somebody else I was dating at the time. But I'm thinking that's what we're going to do. She ends up not being cool with that, and we end up breaking up, right? So the next day, we broke up probably like on a weekend. So the next Monday, we come to school, and I wear a shirt that says free agent. And so I wore the whole day through school.
That is corny.
I thought I was killing shit, though. I was looking fly, though. I had some tough pictures, but it was like free agent. I was flexing. I had the girls that I knew she didn't like that I talked to.
Wait, did you like buy that shirt?
No, I already had it. I already had it while I was dating her. Like my mom had just got the shirt for me. I wore it to school one day and she didn't like it. She was like, "You're not no free agent."
Yeah.
So then once we broke up, I brought that bad boy out.
You some bad shirts.
Now that shirt was hard. That shirt worked. That shirt was what I needed.
That weed shirt that everyone was cutting his ass about. That was from Shirley.
Don't put that on my mama. She didn't need that. She didn't ask for that.
It was not a good shirt.
But no, that would probably be my corny moment there. But
that was really corny.
But it got the job done. She felt it. She was hurt, and there was women that was rocking with me that day. There was a lot of girls that knew that I was open. It was funny too, 'cause I ended up talking to a girl who had the same name as her too afterwards. Like I was premeditated. You couldn't stop me. Once you scorned me, it was over with.
Hell hath no fury like a scorned light-skinned man.
Like a
apparently.
Frederick scorned. All right, I think we can wrap it up here. Let me get my notes out.
Get your shit together, nigga.
Outro out because
why have you not memorized this shit already?
Well, I'm supposed to be saying it in
Oh
the
my
mirror?
God, y'all. It is episode 40.
I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be just saying it in the mirror. I'm not having this. All right, man. Life is a labor of love. So let's keep building these moments together. And remember, your job is not your family. And the only thing you should be exploiting is this company. This is Talk FNF TV. And I'm going to let you tell them what to do.
Yes. Follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnf.tv on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And please still exist. Like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Leave a comment. Let us know your opinions. Bye.
All right, we out of here.